just wants to play with his bowl, but I got things to do, you know. So today I have to do the 1,000 kilometer service on this bad girl. But it's raining and miserable out today, so she's just going to warm up in the driveway and we'll get to it. So I need to pull off the skid plate. I need to drain the oil, obviously. Check the 2 oil screeners just to make sure that there's no debris. Nothing I need to be concerned about. Change the filter out, which I've got the replacements down there. Put it all back together. Fill it up with oil. Put the skid plate back on. Make sure that I put the right amount of oil in it. And everything is good. And then adjust the chain to make sure that there's the correct amount of slack now that it's worked itself in a little bit. So it shouldn't take too long. That's the mission for today. So I'm just going to explain why I turned it around. Because I don't have an actual, or I haven't gotten yet, like a stand for the back so that I can... I was spoiled with Moles because Moles has a center stand. So any work that you need to do on Moles, you can just do. Put it up on a center stand, you're good to go. This does not have a center stand, and I don't have one of those, you know, the things for the back. Nor do I have a chalk for the front because I'm ill prepared. So what I'm going to do instead is just make sure that I strap the handlebar to my workbench here so that there's not a risk of her falling in that direction while I'm working on it. Most of what I have to do is on this side here anyway, so there's not so much of a risk of it falling on me as long as the side stand holds up, which it should. But I don't want to accidentally tip her over and her get a bunch of damage. So the first step is to remove this skid plate here. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, and then 2 more under here. I'll get those pulled off and then let you know what the next step is. Actually, before going any further, I think I should share the tools and stuff that you're going to need. So obviously a beer. That kind of goes without saying. You need to have, if you're going to do it according to Triumph standards specifically, you need to have a torque wrench that can go as low as 10 Newton meters or like 7.5 foot-pounds. So I had to get a new one. You kind of want to have some of the gaskets. You also want to have the oil filter, the Triumph OEM one. I don't know why my camera is now bugging out with the light. When I have a funnel, I bought a new one so that I don't contaminate anything. The correct oil, it needs to be 10W50, and you want it to be API-SN JASO MA2 compatible. This is the stuff that Triumph specifically suggests, so I figured for the first one I would do that. But I know a lot of people use Motul or other brands. You should be fine. A degreaser just for cleaning out the screens. You want some chain lube, whatever your preferential chain lube is for doing that maintenance. And then I'm positive that you need an 8mm socket and probably a impact or at least just a wrench. And then you definitely need a 4mm Allen key and a 5mm Allen key for sure. I have my trusty 10mm just in case. Anything else that I end up needing, I'll make sure to let you know. I don't know what socket is used for the actual drain plug. I'm gonna have to pull it off to find out. Those are the essential tools that you need. So I'm gonna get started. This is also just for kind of documenting it in case Triumph ever wonders. So the service is being done at 1,040 kilometers on the 14th of June 2026. I guess it doesn't actually show the date, but that's the date. So the first issue that I'm seeing with doing this on the side stand is right here is the drain plug. So it kind of opens. Yeah, it's hard to put this actually in the way. So I think I'm going to end up setting up the filter or funnel to make sure that I catch it. I'll make a massive mess in here. But Triumph specifically wants you to remove this stuff first. So I've taken off the nameplate, and now I'm going to be removing the front cover here, which is how you access the various other things, the filter and the 2 screeners that are inside. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, side cover is off. So you can see, so there's the drain plug there. And then right back in there is the oil strainer. The oil filter is back in here. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. And I probably should have just taken off the gear shifter. It would have been a little easier to access everything, but I didn't. See if I can get away with it. Paper towel, important resource to have that you should have ahead of time. All right. Come on, focus. So there's a little bit of debris on there, but in touching it, it doesn't feel solid. I think it's like gasket material, that kind of thing, in that oil strainer. We'll give it a clean in a bit. All right. So the fuel filter is behind this plate here. So we are going to proceed to remove that. Did I call it a fuel filter again? The oil filter. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Oh, man. Man. Right. There we go. That's the cover for the oil filter and the gasket. Just gotta keep tracking it like this so I know which way it goes back on. And then we'll pull this out. And there's the used one. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not seeing anything concerning other than what I would expect for the burn-in period on a new bike. So that I'm happy about. But I also understand that there is I think it's back there. Is that another? I thought there's another oil strainer. I have to double check. Pretty sure there's supposed to be another oil strainer. Unless it's It's behind the drain plug. Of course it is. Cool. Now once again, you can look at this. See, there is some debris. That looks a little bit more like bits of metal, but maybe not. See that there? I'm gonna fiddle with it and see what I think it is. Okay, so I'm not concerned about what's in those strainers. With the flashlight and stuff, it kind of looks a little metallic, or at least your paranoia brings you to that conclusion. As soon as I was able to put it in my fingers and squeeze it, I could tell that it wasn't metal filings or shavings or anything like that. So I think it's just the gasket material from assembly, the standard stuff that you would expect to be in there. And one of the big reasons why you do a 1,000 kilometer service, because you don't want that stuff floating around your engine for any appreciable length of time, even if the filter and the strainer is generally able to catch it. It's interesting this one has 2 oil strainers though. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. Considering I come from what was an over-engineered 80s Honda that had 0 oil strainers. Well, there was an oil strainer in the oil pump in the crankcase, but it's not something that you can just access through regular service, I guess. So yeah, slightly different. But we're going to let the bike sit for another, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, make sure that it's completely drained. Then we will use the cleaner to get everything nice and clean and start looking at reassembly. Much cleaner. All right, that's one of them. There we go. Nice and clean. So the larger strainer goes back in the drain plug hole, which is right here. It just slides right back in and clicks into place. And what I didn't show is changing out the gaskets for things. The one gasket I can still show you is this one. Uh-oh. We can put that one there. So I'm just going to hand tighten all these for now, and then we will use the torque wrench to make sure everything is torqued down to the appropriate factory specs for Triumph. So I'm just going to crack open the oil so I can lube up the filter before I put it in. It's always a good practice, especially any rubber components that you have in the filters or new gaskets, those kinds of things. And it should kind of like pop on that rubber gasket. There's a nipple in there. There we go. Now it's seated. All right, so we've got her set. We're now going to tighten these up. Torquing down on the drain bolt. So I got it set to about 13 Newton meters. There we go. Good to go. Now we just need to do that one's good. And that one's good. All right. That's all of that done. Now, I definitely want to put the oil in it before I put everything else on. Make sure there's no leaks, anything like that. Most of the way through the service, but it's kind of hard to focus. And I think I do want to share this with people, and so that my son will have a record of it when he's a bit older. But this is Dexter. He's really not doing very good. Hey, buddy. Hey, handsome. Hi, gorgeous. Yeah. He's really sick right now. He's 19 or 20 years old. We're not entirely sure, but at least that old. And we don't think he's going to be with us much longer, so. Daddy, I need my office. So it is a little distracting knowing that he's in here really not feeling good. Need some love and affection. And this fixed my shopping kite. We're going to miss you, buddy. We just want him to be as comfortable and happy as possible until that. Yeah. He doesn't want to get up. He doesn't want to go out anymore. It's hard to get him to eat. Get back to Rancho. Devil Dexter. You handsome devil. Meanwhile, this one is oblivious and just wants you to play with him. Come on. Throw the ball for me. Throw the ball for me. We won't even give Dexter an easy time right now. Can't figure out why Dex doesn't want to play with him. Hey, handsome. Hanging up next to Malls. Hey, sit. Good job, buddy. You sweeping the ground under you? Why's your tail under you? Silly bear. All right, let's go inside. Prometheus, leave it. He always tries to sneak his ball in. All right, let's fill her up. Shall we? Now I'm just going to double check nothing's leaking on the other side. Here we go. Let the last of that drain in there. In order to actually check the sight glass, which is right there, it does need to be sitting upright. So I'll have to get my wife to help me with that. And then the next job in this service is the slack on the chain, which, yeah, that needs some adjustment. So we'll be making the necessary adjustments here. There, loose that up, and then make sure everything is adjusted correctly. So that's probably something that I'll take care of tomorrow. It's already time for dinner. It is what it is. Things take me a lot longer to get into it these days, it looks like. So, okay, for the oil level though, I just need to get Chelsea to help me check. But in order to actually make sure that it's accurate, I need to run the engine for about 30 seconds, then let it sit for 5 minutes, and then I can sit the bike upright perfectly and get her to check the sight. So fingers crossed, wish me luck. Okay, I think that's the service completely done. She's reassembled. Everything looks good. She ran well yesterday. The oil levels were within spec. I sat on her to make sure she was level and had my wife check the eyeglass just to make sure. Everything looked good. So here we go. 1,000 kilometers down. Service done. Documented. All the right parts. And I did get I might have mentioned this already, but I did get the cruise control module in, but it's going to require that I take the gas tank off to really wire it properly, and I'm not doing that today. I want to get out, go for a ride, feel her now that she's had her service, and yeah, back to wrenching. It's fun. My hair is nuts. It's going gray anyway, so what does it matter? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Did you leave the ball behind, you little handsome goose? Let's see. You need a little break? We've kicked it like 6 or 7 times. Let's see. Have the ball here. So within a few days of filming the wrenching video here, Dexter did pass. This is just a little clip from a couple of weeks ago when he had a bit of a rebound. But even then we knew he was getting close to the end. He only had an hour or so of being alert a day. But handsome little dude, we're gonna love you and miss you forever, buddy.